Confessions of an Accountant, where no topic is off the ledger.
I had a hire car last week and I took it back, and my mum accidentally scratched the car. She was carrying keys and got in the passenger seat, and there was a scratch on the car. And I took it back, and the lady that worked at Enterprise didn't charge me for the scratch. She definitely should have. It was a bad scratch. Didn't charge me for the scratch, and I'm pretty sure it was a Tuesday morning after a bank holiday, and she couldn't be bothered to fill the form in or have a difficult conversation with me around the scratch on the car, and she let me go. And actually, that entire situation would have been the opposite way around if she was incentivized to add back and charge back when she should be, to have the difficult conversation. And so my job as a firm owner is understanding, firstly, how can I make sure that the team have the same goals and outcomes as me, but also how can I make sure that the payoff is worth any difficult conversation. So we score the team on client happiness, but they also get a bonus every single time we get a 5-star Google review that mentions their name. What that means is that actually we're able to take on 160k of new work in a month because people can see we have 166 5-star Google reviews, when the top 75 firm that I trained at that has existed for 100 years has 3 5-star Google reviews. And so not only do the team do the hard stuff every day, which is actually deliver a service that is 5-star worthy, but getting a bonus every single time they get a review that mentions their name means that they go one step further, which is they ask for Google reviews. And they tell the clients, I get a bonus every time you leave a review. And so if you search our firm, Strivex, on Google, you'll actually see like a lot of the reviews say Donna and Al and Sue and Dorota. Like, they mention as many names as possible because they know that the team get a bonus. And I'm there like, thanks, guys. This is great. But a big part of my job is understanding, like, where are the pain points? What is stopping these people from, delivering the service that I would as a firm owner, which is, while I've got you, Donna, can I have some feedback? Or, you've just said that, but would you put it in writing and do it in a 5-star Google review? I just try and work out exactly how to do that. Another key point with us, and also thank you very much, I can see some questions coming through, but keep them coming. Another part that's been key to scaling the team has been, I call it franchising the inside. Again, I use McDonald's a lot as an example, which I really need a better example because I feel like McDonald's is notoriously not great quality. But it is the most famous franchise in the world. And through my master's, I did a lot of work on McDonald's because I was completely fascinated by the concept of, I don't know if you've ever, when you go into McDonald's, sometimes you can see it through the drive-through that they literally have like little circles, which is put cold drinks here, put hot drinks here, put the chips here, do this. And they literally have processes that make sure that like hot drinks don't make cold drinks hot and cold drinks don't make hot drinks cold. But just by putting little circles so that everybody knows where things go, it means that the person in McDonald's doesn't have to think about it. They just follow the instructions. And so I wanted to firstly document the inside of my brain. Secondly, make sure that I was only paying incredibly soft skill driven accountants to deliver the soft stuff, not the stuff that I can process. And so we have created an engine on the inside of our firm, which the link that I put in the chat, we sell it to other firms so they can plug it into their own firms through process notes, working papers, templated comms, and standard operating procedures to make sure that every single client receives the same experience, even if they're allocated to a different client. What that means also is that our client retention is incredibly high. Even if a team member moves on or they go to another firm for a different opportunity, it means that the client experience still remains the same. And so, having gone through lots of growth, it means that we've been able to document it all. It also means with new things coming in, like making tax digital, we are able to go through the process once of, how do we register a client? How do we survey clients to understand what they actually want from MTD? How do we talk to them about it? How are we operating it? How are we filing returns? We can go through that process once, but actually then deliver it en masse at an incredibly high technical standard. And then the third pillar of the growth has come from culture. I feel like people don't get on buses that they don't know where they're going to. And so our job as firm owners is to know the direction of the business, because I'm pretty sure that lots of people come to our firm because we're scaling rapidly, because we're this weird, unsexy firm that's like half bootstrap startup that's never taken any investment and an accounting firm, but we get to deliver something that's really meaningful to clients and the experience within our firm. And so one of the things that we doubled down on really early was, what does it mean to be a leader in our firm? James and I recently, at the beginning of this year, made a six-figure investment back into the business to double the amount of management within the firm. I spoke to lots of firm owners who were maybe 10 headcount further ahead than me, or double the headcount ahead of me, and said, like, if you could go back and talk to yourself at 20 employees, what would you say? And they all said, like, management is the one thing that you have to do right, and most people underinvest until it's too late. So we took that. We, at that time, had one manager in every team, and we doubled it. So we doubled the amount of management in the team to really grow it. And so through doing that, we've launched our first ever StriveX leadership program. But within that just comes the strongest values. One of my favorite first interview questions is, what are the values of your firm? And people will say, be kind. And I say, okay, have you ever watched anyone lose their job for not upholding that value? And they say no. And I say, well, they're bollocks then, aren't they? Values mean nothing if you're not willing to uphold them. If you have a high performer that's not upholding the values, they need to go. And we have exited team members based on values and values alone. When they are lean, mean, billing machines, clients like them. But if behind the scenes they're not displaying those values, and I wouldn't want a junior member of staff to be trained by that person, they go. So for us, those values tie into the momentum of our business, the culture of the business, and the leadership in the business, which are things that members of staff, any member of staff, should be able to see, hear, and feel at work every single day. So culture, systems and processes, as well as getting explicit clarity on what the goal is and where you're going, is really, really important. And we do that as well, and we measure it through having really strong business controls.
Confessions of an Accountant, where no topic is off the ledger.